Hello architecture students. I'm going to show you in this video, or just kind of recap in this video, how to do the foundation plan. And I've got a very simple drawing that I'm going to use in order to do that with. Okay. Of course, you see I have a completed foundation plan right over here, but I want to show you the steps that you want to go through in order to do this. Okay. So this is another student's drawing, probably from a couple of years ago. Some of the things on here are not exactly right, such as the dimensioning. But don't worry about that, okay? Let's just look at this for how to do the foundation, okay? So it's a good thing that there are dimensions on here, because you'll want to turn those off in order to get to your building, so you can draw unimpeded the foundation, okay? So I'm going to click here in the layer drop down and find this dimensions layer and turn it off by clicking on the light bulb. And yes, that is the current layer, and I'm still going to turn it off. Okay, now the dimensions are off, and I hope you used layers. I noticed some of you are not. You must use layers. It's going to cause you a lot of problems if you don't. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace around this foundation. That's all I need to do. It's that simple. Okay, so depending on your house or the shape of your house, of course, you want to trace around and go around every single corner and every curve and everything else that you have involved. And of course, that's, why I say, earlier when we were talking about this, is not to bite off more than you can chew, because you're going to create a lot of headaches for yourself. So hopefully you stayed with something rather simple. It doesn't have to be a rectangle. It can have some other characteristics involved, some what we call pop-outs and things like that. But this is what you're going to do. You're going to go to the polyline tool. You're going to click on that, and you're simply going to start at one corner, and you're going to trace around. And actually, I'm drawing on the wrong layer. Okay, look at me. All right, see, I drew that on the dimensions layer. So I really want to drop this down and go to the foundation layer. So I'm going to activate the foundation layer and click on that polyline again, and then start drawing. This is a rectangular foundation or house, so it's going to have a very easy foundation. Okay, now that I've drawn that polyline for my foundation, I am going to click on here and turn off the exterior walls. That way I can grab that foundation like so, click on the move tool, and you'll want to click on the move tool to move it, because if you try to move it by one of the grips, it's going to skew the shape. I'll show you what I mean. So if I grab this grip here and try to move it, what does it do? Look, it just moves that grip all over the place. Doesn't move the whole foundation. So select it, move it, find you a good point right there, and I'm going to bring this one down, since I did my last one over there to the side. Okay, just bring it down right below your drawing, or you can bring it out to the side like I have this one. Okay, all right, so the next thing you want to do, and I really should have done this while it was already on, so we can move it back. I forgot to do the garage, so just grab a corner, and then just, so we'll have to turn our exterior walls back on, and just pop it right there on that corner, and it's exactly like it was. Okay, so we have to do the garage. What we want to do is come out about 3 or 4 feet from here. We're going to make a ledge. Okay, so this whole foundation is going to be a 6-inch foundation, 6-inch thick foundation and slab. And it's going to be 6 inches from this wall in the garage right here all the way out to about right in here somewhere. It's still going to be 6 inches. But in the rest of the garage, it's going to decrease in size. It's going to go down to 4 inches. All right, so how would I make sure that I'm 4 feet away from this wall? Well, I'm just going to draw a line. Just start here at this corner, draw out 4 feet, okay, and then there we go. Okay, so that's where that line should come, and it's really perfect with the way the water heater closet is and everything else. So I'm going to locate that line. I'm going to draw this line all the way across, like so, and then I'm just going to keep going around and hit every corner like so. Okay, and this line, I want to bring that out some. I really should have thought about that earlier, but we'll just bring it out to right here. Okay, and then we'll extend this line down, and we'll extend this line down. All right, so I've got all of that. Now I'm going to turn off the exterior walls again, and since I'm going to have kind of a door in the way, I'm going to turn off my doors as well, and I should be able to grab that. Okay, one thing I want to do, since I've got this extra little garage platform in here, is I want to select my polyline and hold my, or actually I don't have to hold down my control button, but then just select on each line of the garage. Okay, and I'm going to group it. So group. Okay, now I can click on it and I can move the whole thing just by grabbing that central grip. Okay, so when you group things, you can actually grab it that way. Okay, now that I'm down here, I need to ungroup it because I'm going to do some more drawing on it. So I'm going to go to the ungroup button, which is right up here next to the group button, and it's ungrouped. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is draw the thickened edge that goes around, and the thickened edge is kind of hard to explain what it is until you're looking at the view, the section view of it. You have drawn one before, you may not remember, but that's all we're going to put on this is a thickened edge. The thickened edge, of course, plays the role of both the stem wall and the footing. We're not going to put any grade beams or anything through it like we did before where we did our load-bearing walls. I do notice a few students have done that, which is perfectly fine. I'm glad that you remembered how to do that. That was fantastic. But for now, just for the practical exercise, we're just going to put the thickened edge. It is going to be a 12 by 24 thickened edge, which means we're going to place a hidden line. We're going to offset this outer polyline inwards 12 inches and then turn it into a dashed line or a hidden line. Okay, so I'm going to click on the offset tool. I'm going to type 12 inches, enter, and then click on that, bring it in. Okay, and then I'm going to escape out of that tool, click on that second inset polyline, and change its line type to hidden. I like the bigger hidden line on this one. Okay, and there is your foundation. Now, all that's left to do is annotate. Okay, and I'm going to turn some layers back on here, mainly the dimensioning layer, because that's where I put the annotations. I shouldn't have. I should have put them on their own layers. See, I've got an annotations layer right here. That's where I should have put them. Okay, that's where you should put yours. Okay, but for demonstration purposes, I just went ahead and left these like they are. You'll have to pause the video. Okay, now what you see here, you see several different annotations. Well, some of them are just copies of other ones. Okay, this is your slab annotation right here, and it is copied over here. You want to put your slab annotation in more than just one place since it's such a big slab. Okay, the same thing right here. This is your sill plate annotation. This annotates the sill plate that goes all the way around the perimeter attached to the surface of the concrete, the slab. Okay, and it's in two places also, here and here. Okay, now let me explain what it is you're going to write down, and you might just want to pause right here so you can copy this. But what I'm saying is you have a 6-inch thick concrete slab over 4 inches of compacted sand fill with a 6 mil vapor barrier. That's what the VB stands for, is vapor barrier. Okay, so that's one annotation. The next annotation again is that sill plate that goes all the way around the perimeter. Okay, sill plate is a 2x6. Notice here that the 2x6 does not have inches after it because this is a nominal designation for this piece of wood that's going to go around the perimeter of the foundation. Okay, so it would not have the inch marks or the units of measure above it. So it's a 2x6 DFPT. Make sure you put D period, F period, P period, T period, just like you see it written right here. That stands for Douglas fir pressure treated. All wood that comes in contact with that foundation level concrete must be pressure treated. Okay, Douglas fir is just the type of wood that it is. The PT means it is pressure treated. So any wood that comes in contact with that foundation level slab must be pressure treated. Okay, so sill, because it is a sill with a 1/2 inch diameter by 10-inch long anchor bolt. That's what the AB stands for. A period, B period. Anchor bolt. That's what's going to anchor the walls down to the foundation. And those anchor bolts are placed at 6 feet on center. Okay, so every 6 feet you're putting an anchor bolt into the concrete while it's still wet, 7 inches minimum into concrete. So that's how far you sink that anchor bolt into the concrete. Okay, with 2-inch diameter washers. Okay, so the washers go on top of that bolt, 2-inch wide washer. And of course it gets a nut on top of it, and that just goes without saying. You don't have to put the nut on here because if you're putting a washer, if you got a bolt and a washer, you're going to put a nut. Okay, so again, these are just copies of those same annotations. Now the next thing we have is your garage slab annotation. Okay, it is not as thick. It is only 4 inches thick concrete slab over 4 inches compacted sand fill with 6 mil VB vapor barrier. Okay, it's going to have the same sill that goes around it as well. We don't have to annotate it over here. It goes without saying. Okay, so the annotations for the sill cover the whole thing. All right, and your dimensions right out here. Okay, you want to follow the same 8, 6, and 4 foot away from the building. These are 8 feet away from the building because those are overall dimensions. If you have corners, okay, so if you have other corners within here where your foundation is going to cut out to follow the building, you'll need to dimension those corners on a second line, a line that is actually going to be below this one. It will be 6 feet from the edge of the slab. And you can also get the, if you do have beams, if you have grade beams on your concrete slab for your load-bearing walls or what have you, you would also dimension those on that same dimension line, that second dimension line that gets all of your corners and everything else. So you would measure those beams or dimension those beams to their center. Okay? All right, so that's it for foundation. I can't think of anything else. Oh, also, there are going to be some general notes right down here. So I'll probably come out and give you guys some general notes that you'll put right in this spot right here. And that's required by code. You got to have these certain general notes on all of your drawings. Certain notes are required by code. And then, of course, you want to add to those by placing, information in there that you may have not been able to get into your annotations or your dimensions. Okay, so remember that. All right, that's the end of this video. Do stay tuned for a couple of more videos showing you how to do some things that you've never been shown how to do before. They're very simple processes, and I think you'll be happy with the turnout of those. You'll be happy with your drawings.